Greetings, fellow devs. I'm George, the web dev, and we are the ODBs. And here is our app, Ready Test Fire. With Ready Test Fire, we set out to solve one of the most glaring problems in the development community, which is a lack of diversity. The development community and tech community in general is pretty heavily dominated by straight white males. There's a pretty big shortage of women, LGBTQ, and people of color. So we wanted to address that. Our target audience is underrepresented youth, specifically children who go to inner city public schools. The big question is, how do you get young children excited about code, interested in code, so that they want to do this as a hobby or career path in the future? And so what we did is tapped into B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning, which basically we're going to use positive reinforcement to get kids to continue doing code over and over again. So the more you code, the more rewards you get, type of deal. In order to do that, we built a few things that we call reward delivery systems. The reward delivery system comes in a couple different shapes and sizes. Right here, we have one that we call the launcher. And the launcher, as you can see, is very brightly colored. It is meant to grab children's attention very rapidly, get them excited about what is this, what does it do, and how do I use it. And the way you use that is by coming to the web page. Every child will be given a email address to log in with and a password by their school. It does have some brief instructions down here on the bottom. Follow instructions in the prompt window. Be sure to use the language given. In this case, it's JavaScript. Click the submit button and test your code. So if we log in, and once we log in, we're brought to our first prompt. Now, teachers, while making their lesson plan, will be able to choose what type of questions they would like to show for their prompts. So in this case, we're just testing simple data types. In this case, it's a string, but you can test whatever you want. You can test it before you start the lesson to check retention from the day before, or you can test it at the end of the lesson to see comprehension for the lesson given, or a combination of both. So once we start typing, it wants a function named test. So function test. As you can see, the words change color depending on the type of the element that you put in. So function turns purple, test is orange, and we return release the Kraken. Release the Kraken. And so this environment works very similar to how normal development environments work for those who are used to various IDEs. And we did that so that people can get used to seeing this happen and understanding why the text is changing color. So after we put in the test, we can go ahead and submit. For demo purposes, we go ahead and get the launch button immediately after one pass. Normally, you would require something like 10 passes to get the launch button. Then we get the launch button, and once we click it, our reward launches. So it brings us to our next coding example. And this one wants a function named sum that takes in an array, which we know how to do that, and then returns all the numbers. And say maybe I don't know how to do this, so I just say return array dot add all, and hope that runs. If I submit the incorrect answer, it'll pop up and say test failed. When it does that, it also sends information to the instructor's spreadsheet, letting them know which students are failing which test at what frequency. That way they can see if, say, 60% of their students are failing loops, then they know that they need to go back in and reteach for loops, maybe from a different direction. Also will show them if If it's one student who is failing just a certain subject, you can set up one-on-one time and work with them individually. So it's a really powerful tool for both students and teachers. Currently, our reward delivery system just launched fruit snacks, but it can be used for other objects like stickers, erasers. We have other RDSs for larger objects, or maybe something you don't want to fling through the air like marbles or something like that that could injure somebody. So yes, as you can see, we have a very powerful platform that's easily accessible. Will help get children excited about code and introduce the next generation of coders. Thank you.